Okay, welcome. So, what we're talking about today is sleep deprivation and empowerment. And how do those two go together? So, I want to talk to you about those nights where, maybe you fall asleep easily, but then you wake up at 2:30 in the morning and you just can't get back to sleep, or you are laying there tossing and turning and twitching, and your brain is active. So, what can you do? So, we're going to discuss several different ways. I'm going to teach you a couple of tools that will be very helpful in allowing you to sleep peacefully and restfully without drugs and medication. Okay. So, sleep is one of the most powerful medicines that we have as humans. It restores our bodies, it strengthens our immune system, balances our emotions. And when we don't get enough sleep, scientifically, it's been proven it touches every area of our lives, from irritability to depression to emotional balance and even feeling worthy and successful. It can cause us to feel low, not enough, and depressed. So, what we're going to do is talk about the powerful medicine of sleep, how it restores your body, your immune system, balances your emotions. And when we don't get enough, what did I say? It touches every area of our lives. All right, so sleep deprivation is when you don't get enough sleep. We're going to talk about how much sleep is enough sleep, and it depends on your age, depends on your abilities, your physical exercise, and that sort of thing, but also you personally. So, whether it's one rough night or a chronic sleepless nights for weeks or months or years. So it's very common. In fact, the experts estimate that 50 to 70 million US adults, is just in the US, are sleep deprived. Between 50 and 70 million US adults are sleep deprived at any given time. And so, driving long distance, you could fall asleep at the wheel. You may not be as balanced with your family. You might stub your toe in the morning, yell at the cat, kick the dog, because you're not feeling grounded and safe in your body. All right, so what are the effects on the body? Well, heart and circulation, it can increase high blood pressure and heart strain. Regarding your metabolism, there's a higher risk of diabetes and obesity. Your immune system is less able to fight off infections. Your brain, this is the thing that I've noticed when I don't get enough sleep. My memory's not as good. I'm unable to focus. And I will say I'm much more irritable. So your moods suffer. Mental health, depression, anxiety, irritability, all of those things can come into play when we are sleep deprived. And if you've ever noticed you're more emotional, more snack hungry, I know I'm this way, that when I don't get enough sleep, I tend to reach for the foods that may not be the best for me after a poor night's sleep. And so we're not eating as well as we know we should be. All right, so here's a few external influences and patterns. So, a lack of sleep can be caused by stress, too much technology right before sleep, or caffeine. Caffeine has a half-life of 8 hours. What does that mean? If you drink a cup of coffee at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think it's like 12 hours later, there is still half of that caffeine still circulating through your body. It has a half-life of I think 12 to 8 hours. All right, so there's also a growing conversation about the environment, including technology, 5G, how these things could be affecting us, and we don't even understand all these ways that those things are affecting us. So using blue blockers glasses when you're on your screen, especially at night, shutting your computer down at least an hour before you go to bed. That's so what I do, and this is just a sample and an idea, I have a laptop that I play something like, it could be a fictional story, and I have the screen light dimmed, and I just play that in the background while I sleep. So there's hypnosis that you can play, free stuff on YouTube that you can play in the background. Turn the light of the computer off if you can do that, and then just play it in the background. All right, so using those blue blockers, that would help you. But here's the thing, throughout history, there's powerful groups have suppressed information about technologies and status quo. Tobacco companies, right, suppressed information. And so even some inventors who worked on alternative energy mysteriously disappeared from public view. Whether or not every story is true, the pattern of suppression is really enough to notice. And so there are some underlying things that could be coming through that you may hear whiffs of it on social media. Project Bluebeam is one of those things. Holographic mind influencing and technologies, even through your television. So you may want to cover your TV at night, turn it off rather than leaving it on. So there's also energy from cell towers that we don't understand. And of course, the sun, of course, is also emitting coronal flares and that sort of thing. And all of these things can affect our circadian rhythm and melatonin production, making sure your room is dark and that any little lights are dimmed or covered up, wearing an eye mask to sleep because melatonin rather is produced when your 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 eyes are seeing darkness. So you want complete darkness in your room for higher production of melatonin. And I prefer not to take it. You can take it. There's a couple of things we're going to talk about that you can take, nutritionals that will help you. And so, although we can't control the world or the sun, there are some things that we can do to help us sleep better. So we can calm our nervous system before bed. There's the heart mind coherence meditation. What is that? You put your hand in the center of your heart. You close your eyes. You can do this laying down. And with your eyes closed, you're taking a nice deep breath through the nose and then exhaling. Take another nice deep breath and then exhale. And you're going to think about the feeling of compassion, having compassion for others, compassion perhaps for people that are struggling with their health, compassion for the animals, compassion for those that don't have a roof over their heads, compassion for your family members. So you think about the word, the feeling of compassion, not the word. Think about the feeling of compassion. Then you go from compassion to gratitude, the feeling of gratitude, feeling of what it feels like to have gratitude, gratitude for being alive, gratitude, the feeling of gratitude. It feels so good in the heart, feeling the feeling of gratitude, gratitude for life, gratitude for your soft bed, gratitude for the roof over your head, and then slip into appreciation. And then the feeling of appreciation, appreciating nature, appreciating your environment, your home, the people that love you, appreciating your pets, appreciating God, the feeling of appreciation. And then the one last one, you're going to slide then into caring. If you can feel the feeling of caring, or what does that mean? Love. What does it mean to feel loved? What does feeling loved feel like? And if you have a hard time experiencing the feeling of love, what does it feel like for someone to care for you? So caring, just breathing into that feeling of caring. And what you'll notice, it will relax your body and you will go into a state of deep healing. So that's one thing that you can do. You can also do the alternate nostril breathing. It's a Kundalini breath work, which balances the right and left hemisphere of the brain. You toggle between the thumb on the right nostril and the index finger on the left. So we breathe in through the left and out through the right. Breathe in through the left. Breathe out through the right. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Now you want to do this for 11 minutes. You can sit up in bed before you fall asleep. You can begin with 11 minutes, set a timer or not, and building up to 22. So that's alternate nostril breathing. So that will help you shift your perspective, balance emotions, and help you tremendously. So you could do some yoga stretching. You could do the child's pose. If you know what child's pose is, I can't do it in front of you right now, but you basically are on your hands and knees, you're kneeling kind of, and bending over with your forehead to the floor. And you just hold your forehead, eyes closed, forehead to the floor for 4 minutes. Now, what does this do? It slows down the mind, the thinking, the mind chatter, the mental chatter, so then you can climb into bed and go to sleep peacefully. Turn off your screen 60 to 90 minutes before sleep. Put airplane mode on your phones and unplug the Wi-Fi. Now, if this is too scary, go to your comfort zone. But I have one other for you. Two, actually. All right, so this one is the one that I feel like works wonders. So you are going to be mimicking what I do, but your eyes will be closed. Now, to show you what you do with your eyes, I have to do it with my eyes open. So you're going to look up you're not tipping your head up, but looking up with your eyeballs, but your eyes would be closed. So your eyeballs are going up, 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 eyes closed, then looking down, looking to the left, looking to the right, and then all around twice, and then the other way. And then looking, this is harder for me, to look cross-eyed towards, turning both eyes towards each other. That's very difficult for me. So you want to do that, the cross-eyed thing. Okay, but this is all with your eyes closed, and then go to sleep. You may have to do this twice or three times, but what it does is it makes your eyes tired. When your eyes are tired, your body goes, oh, it's time to go to sleep. And there's one other little technique, and it is a deep inhalation, exhalation, deep inhalation, exhalation. All right, now we're going to count from 1 to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And now you do that 5 times and you'll be asleep. If you wake up in the middle of the night, you can do any of these and you'll fall back to sleep. So I hope those are helpful. All right, so there's a few other things that you can do. Take magnesium glycinate. I prefer it over magnesium citrate. It helps to relax the muscles, calms the nerves. L-theanine is something that supports relaxation. Melatonin, you don't want to ever take more than 10 milligrams of melatonin short term for shifting sleep cycles. You can also take a cup of chamomile tea or valerian tea. Valerian, valerian has a very strong I would say it's not the most pleasant fragrance. Chamomile's lovely, but either of those will help you sleep as well. So you don't want to have caffeine after 12 o'clock during the day if you have difficulty falling asleep. The body has its own pharmacy, but sometimes we need a little nutritional support to help wind down. All right, optimizing your sleep environment. You want a cool, dark room, 60 to 70 degrees. Blackout curtains, ideal, or an eye mask. You want white noise, soothing sounds, a consistent bedtime, consistent wake up time, think of your bed as a sanctuary. There's only two things that should happen in the bedroom. One is sleep, and the other is making love. Every signal that you send your body says this is a place we rest and restore. So you really watching television in your bedroom is not the best idea. All right, so sleep deprivation is real and it impacts millions of us. So, nourishing our bodies naturally, creating a safe, peaceful place to sleep will help you. The more rested and resilient we are, the less susceptible we become to fear, manipulation, or outside control. It can help regulate our emotions. It restores our health in our bodies, allows us to heal. So, deep sleep is one of the simplest and most revolutionary forms of self care and sovereignty we can practice. So, my gentle call to action is tonight as you prepare for bed, ask yourself what's one small step, it's one small thing that I can do to invite a deeper, more healing sleep into my life. Your body and your soul will thank you. I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear your comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Hello, Becca.